Hi YouTube, in the following clip I'm going to read a message from an old YouTube friend. I'll call her name BB. Those are her initials. And BB has belonged to a lot of Gurdjieffian groups in her time. And it says it all for me as for where I'm at with the Gurdjieffians who've contacted me and have been very critical. You know, there have been Gurdjieffians who've contacted me who are really cool. But the ones who are critical don't seem to want to discuss ideas, or they're unable to do that. Okay. And I've done the Kundalini video, which has gotten tens of thousands of views. And I've only had one critical Gurdjieffian wanting to talk to me about that in any serious way, about the actual content of the video. Something I've said, and he's taking exception to what I've said, and it's not about what these other characters are doing. There's the troll who's a grotesque exaggeration, and he doesn't even count as a Gurdjieffian because he's already said he's never belonged to a group. And where Gurdjieff was coming from is you have to belong to a group and get feedback from the group. I've done that. I haven't done it in Gurdjieffian groups, but I've done that with groups, and it's the same principle. There's some things you cannot see yourself, for yourself, and you need other people to confront you about it, and you resist and you don't believe it, and then at roundabout you do come away with some insight, and it's no fun, but you gotta go through it. And apparently it's nothing the troll has ever put himself through, and it really shows. She's been to these groups, and this is what she has to say about it, and it kind of rings right to me. I've read it a couple of times now, and this is really my best reply to Gurdjieffians who imagine they are just vastly beyond all the rest of us. I have been in groups, she says, that were all oriented around just Ouspensky, and even the foundation, which is supposed to be a direct lineage from Gurdjieff through John Pentland and connected to Frances Madame de Salzman, whom I thoroughly enjoy reading. There is one released of late called The Reality of Being, a collection of talks she gave to her group. I recently saw G's son, Jean-Claude, who lives in France, and he comes periodically to the San Francisco group, and she was able to talk with him and ask some serious questions. He certainly looks almost exactly like G, she says, but what is amazing is he isn't a stiff phony. In her world, that's really, wow, this is someone who's not a stiff phony. And man, could I see how fed up he is with this too. She means the endless pretensions. He made it clear as could be what he saw. It's funny that the ones who are tied up like that still can't feel it and don't realize it whatsoever. The tendency, that's the thing why I'm reading this. I can't tell how much the troll or these friendlier and well-meaning type nerdy ones, how much are they aware of it doesn't occur to them, it doesn't occur to them that there's a problem. The tendency for the ones like this who want to keep grabbing onto Ouspensky as a way to deal with their own minds and ideas and get some imaginary satisfaction at their all-knowing vast minds, it isn't gut level, and they always want to escape gut level, as if that part of us just doesn't exist. It is humorous. I think she means by that it can be amusing to just sort of distance yourself from it and look at it. And that's what I do. I just recycle it as humor because it's like a cartoon. You can look at it that way because it's just so frustrating trying to communicate with them. I tried to sort it out with someone in Europe who did seem to mean well, as patronizing as it all was, and then that broke down. The pristine attitudes always seem to manifest in groups. We are the chosen ones type attitude. It really makes me sick. But I continue to learn from it and put out, I think she means, but I continue to learn from it and pull out when it is time to do so. And I am truly sometimes amazed by the looks on the faces and the things that occur. There really are some people in the groups who do have a level of honesty within and enough of their own work and experience to be able to recognize deceit and masking. But they are few, and they are gold. That is why I haven't left it all together. It's kind of a funny thing, the way the work is so hidden with people. There is this big tendency to make it all look done. That's what I get from some of the comments and messages I've got, is the pretense that it's all done. Or if it isn't done, there's just so much farther along than you that it might as well be done, because they're the teacher and you're the student. I do realize, and the troll can get this way too. He got this way at one point. He just make your skin crawl. I mean, considering his behavior. I do realize that the ones who pose and act so unreacting, this whole I'm not reacting thing, which is just the most eerie thing about them. I do realize that the ones who pose and act so unreacting do have the biggest pile of, she uses a bad word, common barnyard substance, let's call it. They have the biggest pile of that substance and lots of hidden animosity buried in that psyche of theirs. And it is downright unpleasant. Anyways, non-reaction is cool. And I talk about it in the Beltane video and where I'm at with it. And I particularly, it's something that is going on with Buddhism and Tao as much as Gurdjieff. And I appreciate Gurdjieff's emphasis on getting beyond reaction and reflex and conditioning so that you're less under the control of others and society and media manipulation and so forth. He was the first person to talk about media manipulation, back when the mass media was really pretty crude. So there's an awful lot I relate to in Gurdjieff, or I wouldn't talk so much about him. But this non-reaction thing, even in Buddhism, they talk about restraint, and there's a time and place for restraint. But if I'm going to err, I'm going to err on the side of being real, just being self-honest, and as honest emotionally as I can be with my viewers about who I really am. I have an acting background. I get up here and pretend to be beyond all human reaction. There's not anything to it at all. Okay, not anything to it. But I made a decision the minute I started doing webcams and coming out from behind the curtain that I would be as honest and straightforward as I could about what I'm really like, from one day to the next. If I'm having a reaction, I'll let you in on it. Because that's just part of the whole dharma of it, is to be real. Or as Beelzebub puts it, sincere with yourself. Okay, I'll talk about that passage, the sincere with yourself thing. And Bibi mentioned it a little bit in her letter there about people who can be honest within. Anyways, anyone's free to do a video response to the Lucifer series. Recently, my favorite troll claimed to have made a video response for me. It was really something put up by someone else. It was a movie clip that the person had put up to protest having been stalked by a troll. Okay. Now, I don't know if that was supposed to provoke me or if that really was a reflection of the troll's outrage over my video, the Joker versus Troll, because that was a very particularly obnoxious video that I took down. Oh, it's only fair to mention that the troll stopped his stalking. Okay? he let up on that. He only checks in now and then. For a while there, it was out of control, but it stopped. I wouldn't have given him credit for that kind of, I wouldn't have thought he was emotionally capable of easing up. Apparently he is. Okay, so he surprised me on that score. Score one for the troll.